Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Narayan Kataria. I am President of Indian American Intellectuals Forum. Today I am going to talk about why we should vote for Narendra Modi and BJP in the general elections to be held this year. As most of you are aware, India is at the crossroads of history. Congress government and its anti-Hindu policies have completely destroyed India and brought it to the brink of disaster and doom. Congress government, at the instance of Sonia Gandhi, is planning to enact communal violence bill and similar laws to slander, demoralize and demonize Hindus. Hindu sadhus, sants, Shankaracharyas, and yogis are being humiliated, they are being insulted, persecuted, and treated as second class citizens in their own country. Congress has ruined Indian economy. Its leaders have looted the country. In India, according to a World Bank report, 841 million people live with less than $2 a day. Whereas Sonia Gandhi, the chairperson of UPA, who was born as Antonia Mano in Italy, in a poor family, and was working as a waitress in UK, is reported to have amassed $2 billion. Her son-in-law, Robert Vadra, has become a billionaire overnight. Rahul Gandhi's Hate Hindu campaign continues indirectly. He is reported to have told the American ambassador Timothy Raymer that Hindu terror is more dangerous than that of Lashkar-e-Taiba. He is always trying to communalize Indian polity. The other day, Rahul Gandhi organized a meeting with Dalits and tried to create the impression that they are not a part of the broad Hindu Samaj. Then he went to Muzaffarnagar and incited Muslims and obliquely blamed Hindus for riots. After that, he organized a meeting of minority community, means Muslims. His aim behind all this insidious activity was to create a rift, drive a wedge among all sections of the society, and reap the fruit in the form of vote bank. This attitude is dangerous and unacceptable in a secular country. In addition to that, he is no match for Narendra Modi. His only qualification is that he belongs to Nehru Gandhi dynasty. Otherwise, he is an incapable person and should never be allowed to govern India. Some Indian leaders have described Rahul Gandhi as quote Buddhu unquote. If you want to get rid of this corrupt and communal Congress party, you have to vote for Narendra Modi and his party BJP. At the moment, Narendra Modi is the only unifying force in India. Narendra Modi is the leader India is waiting for a long time. He is the leader integrator. In one of his speech, he had said that I will change India's future with development in 60 months. He is the only hope for India. He is the solution for most of the problem India is confronted with. Modi is the follower of Swami Vivekananda and a devotee of goddess Amba. Hence, he is truly a nationalist and a patriotic leader. He is endowed with indomitable spirit and unshakable courage. Modi always talks about issues such as rising price, scams, corruption, lack of accountability in government, national unity and progress. His main plank in the next election is India first. Narendra Modi has never been found guilty by any court of law. All the allegations against Modi are politically motivated. Congress has found it out that it is very difficult to defeat Modi politically. Hence, they are using government machinery to implicate Modi in false cases, grab Modi, destroy Modi, surrender Modi, and tarnish his image in the eyes of public. But so far, Narendra Modi has not been found guilty of any charges leveled against him. Special Investigation Team SIT, appointed by the Supreme Court, has dismissed all the allegations against Modi by Sanjay Bhatt, the Indian Police Service official in Gujarat. On December 26, the court in Ahmedabad gave Modi a clean chit. It is wrong to say that Modi is anti-Muslim as alleged by far-left guys, radical Islamist, Tista Sitalwad gang, foreign-funded NGOs and paid media. Modi is restoring 5 big Muslim historical monuments in Gujarat. Muslim population in Gujarat is 10%, but in police force, Muslims are 13%. Muslims are more prosperous in Gujarat than in any other state, either ruled by Congress or other socialist or far-left group. That is the reason in 2012 elections, Muslims voted for 31% Muslims voted for BJP. That is the reason many prominent Muslims like Zafar Sarishwala and Asifa Khan supported Modi. The Congress propaganda against Modi has completely failed. Modi is an embodiment of courage and valor. He is a powerful orator, a consummate communicator, and a forthright thinker. He is a fearless fighter, a legend who understands how to capture the collective imagination of the people he wants to lead. Modi is the most popular and charismatic leader in India. Wherever he goes, there are hundreds of thousands of people to greet him. In Jaipur, Haryana, Ranchi, wherever he goes, 500,000 people ready to listen to him. In Patna, there were 1 million people in his rally. This news was, however, dragged out by mainstream media. Even in Chennai and Bangalore, people admire him, love him, and want to listen to him, even though many of them don't understand Hindi. In spite of the mean and mendacious media attack launched against him by Congress party in coalition with a dangerous combination of pseudo-secularist, radical Islamist, far-left communist, foreign-funded NGOs, Modi has not only stood strong but also has made them eat the humble pie. Let us talk a little bit about fake encounters. So much noise has been made about the fake encounters in Gujarat. Here are the figures. National Human Rights Commission of India has said that there were more fake encounters in Congress-ruled states than in Narendra Modi's Gujarat. It says that there were fake encounters in UP 138, Manipur 62, Assam 52, West Bengal 35, Jharkhand 30. According to Meenakshi Lekhi, a spokesperson of BJP, between 2002 to 2006, 880 encounters were reported, out of which only 12 encounters took place in Gujarat. Now I would like to tell you about the economic situation in Gujarat. Gujarat's population is 5% of the total population of India. But Gujarat's industrial production is 16%. Gujarat's export is 22% of the country's export. Gujarat's agriculture growth is 10%, whereas it is only 3% for all India. Gujarat has maintained double-digit GDP growth for the last decade. Gujarat's solar park is Asia's largest solar park with 590 megawatt capacity. Under Jyoti Gram Yojana, Modi has provided 24/7 power to all the villages in Gujarat. Let us talk about riots in Gujarat. In 1969, there were riots in Gujarat which continued for 6 months. In 1985, 10,000 people were killed. At that time, Modi was not the chief minister of Gujarat. In Delhi, in Assam, when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India, 3,000 people were killed. In 1984 in Delhi, about 5,000 people were killed. In Maharashtra, Mumbai, thousands of people were killed in riots. Nobody is talking about those riots. No one even remembers as to who was the chief minister at that time. Now compare the Gujarat riots in 2002 with the above figures. In Gujarat riots in 2002, the number of the people killed was 1200, not thousands as being allegedly said by anti-Modi media, out of which 34% were Hindus and 66% Muslims. We should also not forget that the riots started after 59 innocent Hindu men, women and children were burnt alive by 2,000 strong Muslim mob at Godhra railway station on February 27, 2002. There have been dozens of riots in Uttar Pradesh, but in Modi's Gujarat, there is peace and tranquility for the last 12 years. There have been no communal riots in Gujarat since 2002. It is wrong to say that Modi did not take action to control the riots. As most of you know, that 59 innocent Hindu men, women and children were burnt on Godhra station on February 27, 2002. Riots started in February 28th. Army was called on February 28th itself within a few hours. Army began flag march on the next day, that is March 1st, because February has got 28 days. By March 3rd, riots were under control. This has been mentioned by the Hindu newspaper, which is controlled by anti-Hindu leftist and communist comrades. Now, we will talk about the 2014 elections. Congress has been completely routed in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Delhi. It was a semi-final between BJP and Congress. In the following 11 states, BJP will be entering with a lot of confidence. These states are Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. These 11 states together have 293 Lok Sabha seats, and the BJP hopes that the pace picked up in the assembly polls will get it very close to the halfway mark of 272 in parliament. In addition to that, BJP could get 20 seats from Karnataka also. I am sure if more than 60% Hindus unitedly and strategically vote for Modi and BJP, Indians can reclaim India from corrupt and failed Congress government that works for and establish a government that works honestly and in the best interest of the common.